Good afternoon. Welcome back to our Maersk monthly updates. This is our second update for 2022. My name is Colin Ricardo. I am the Regional Lead Logistics Product Manager at Maersk Asia Pacific. I'm speaking with you today from Sydney, Australia, and I'm pleased to be joined by Kiwi Lai from our Shanghai office. Kiwi is Head of Contract Product Management and Special Cargo for Maersk here in Asia. Today, we will share the latest updates on ocean. We'll have a look at the ocean services and then share some news on COVID impact in China and the impact of the Russian-Ukraine situation. Then I will share an update about our ongoing efforts regarding sustainability and our ambition to provide a carbon neutral supply chain by the year 2040. If you have any questions or feedback regarding this broadcast, please type them into the Q&A box at the right of your screen. We'll try and answer the questions at the end of the session, otherwise we will get in touch with you shortly after. We also issue a monthly update by email, and if you would like to receive these updates, you'll find a link for you to register in the comments section. Now let me pass it over to Kiwi to get started with an update on what's happening on ocean.
Hello everyone, I'm Kiwi. I will provide updates on the ocean parts. Overall demand has gradually recovered post the Chinese New Year beginning from March. However, the incident in Ukraine and international sanctions imposed against Russia by governments around the world have resulted in a ripple effect across the global supply chain. From this, we expect a high degree of uncertainty to remain in the global economy and trade traffic. We should note that vessel delay and congestion remain a significant problem in the US, with the worst occurrence happening in the port of Los Angeles and neighboring Long Beach. In Northern Europe, restrictions and stringent checks are happening as a result of the incident in Ukraine, while European ports as a whole are expected to further suffer from congestion. For recent COVID outbreaks in China, local lockdowns in some major cities and other quarantine measures deployed to respond to the pandemic situation have brought further complexity and uncertainty to customer supply chains. Going forward, we continue to foresee disruptions and potential delays in port, depot, and warehouse operations. Rest assured, Maersk continually monitors these situations and makes the necessary adjustments to ensure customer impact is minimized. Now, let's look at the impact of the Russia-Ukraine situation. The Russia-Ukraine situation has made the macroeconomic outlook highly uncertain. The imposition of sanctions by governments on Russia, coupled with surging energy prices, is likely to have a significantly negative impact, adding to inflationary pressures. How consumers and businesses react to the increased uncertainty of higher prices and reduced policy support will be key to the outlook for trade. Emergent scenarios depend heavily on how things play out. But according to analysis, if energy prices remain at current levels, European growth could fall slightly this year. The impact on trade flows is difficult to predict. Russian imports and exports constitute roughly 2% of global volume for both ocean and air, with a bigger share of around 5% on Asia-Europe trade and 8% for intra-Europe trade. Apart from the direct impact of loss on volumes in Russian trade, we expect a complex redirection of volumes to other regions, in particular reefer commodities and other perishable goods. We know higher energy prices, lower consumer demand, and volatile financial markets will further impact global trade flows. However, it's impossible to forecast by how much. A.P. Moller-Maersk is keeping a close eye on developments and making necessary adjustments in line with the latest restrictions and export controls. Our teams are working around the clock to find solutions that safeguard our people, operations, and customer supply chains. The varying effects on global supply chain flows are a result of unpredictable operational impacts. As the situation is ever evolving, we encourage you to contact your local Maersk customer experience representative to discuss options and explore solutions for impacted cargo and specific shipments. Lastly, we have created an FAQ advisory relating to the ongoing crisis between Russia and Ukraine. You will find it in the advisory sections of our website under Russia-Ukraine Update. Now, let's look at the impact of COVID in China. The first quarter of 2022 witnessed another wave of COVID flare-ups in China. As has been reported, despite China's preemptive efforts, the infectious Omicron variant has been spreading in major cities, most glaringly in the financial capital, Shanghai. This represents the most significant COVID outbreak since the start of the pandemic in early 2020. Into April, along with Shanghai, Jilin province in China's northeast has accounted for the vast majority of new cases. So, how is this affecting trade? The situation in China will pose additional challenges to global supply chain recovery. The pandemic has revealed how lean the supply chain has become, with even what some might call small disruptions in China having effects worldwide. Local lockdowns and other quarantine measures, especially those in Shanghai, are causing supply chain bottlenecks that stem primarily from trucking capacity shortages. We are providing multimodal services via barge and rail as alternative solutions between Shanghai and nearby cities. Overall, terminals continue normal operations with minor congestion caused by inclement weather. The most significant impact still lies in customer landside operations, factory, warehouse, and trucking. However, there is positive news. Urgent support measures have been implemented to help truckers get back to business, while haulage services are largely back to normal in most China ports. At this point, domestic railway services have not been severely impacted, but require advanced planning, as anti-epidemic policy primarily affects first and last mile operations. There will be a noticeable drop in trucking services between Shenzhen and nearby cities due to more stringent pandemic controls, including the requirement that drivers show a recent negative nucleic acid test. This is causing longer delivery times and higher transport costs. Further south, in Hong Kong, tougher checks and tests on cross-boundary truckers have led to trucking capacity shortage, which is having a domino effect on the rest of the supply chain. The same scenario applies to Shanghai for interprovincial pickup and drop-off. Air freight is also being impacted as airlines reduce the frequency of flights due to a decline in demand. Airlines are frequently adjusting their schedules to adapt to the impacts and fluctuations in volumes during recent weeks. Furthermore, the Civil Aviation Administration of China has rerouted international passenger flights bound for Shanghai to other cities through May the 1st. What is Maersk doing to handle the various situations? Manufacturing continues to take place in other parts of China with a sense of normalcy. However, delays will still affect outputs, though not drastically. Customers can be assured that Maersk teams are working around the clock to help mitigate impacts on you by providing favorable terms and flexibility. Our focus is on our customers while the situation is day-to-day. We are in continuous contact with customers to understand their needs and how we can help them. Currently, the various terminals and ports in the areas are still open and there's no direct impact on our daily operations. For example, when Shenzhen underwent a week-long lockdown, Maersk made the decision that the amendment fee, together with the bill of lading release and late payment fee, will not be applied to clients affected in Shenzhen. Furthermore, with the lifting of lockdown policy in Shenzhen, all depots and warehouses have been reopened as of March the 20th and remain in full operation with air freight and shipment. In light of the ongoing lockdown situation in Shanghai, Maersk has offered a package that includes several helpful items. Among them include free change of destination on import cargo into Shanghai port with an ETA of April the 1st to 15th. Free destination and demurrage on cancelled export shipments from Shanghai with an ETD of March the 28th to April the 15th. And free amendment or cancellation for spot and shipments export from or imported into Shanghai with an ETD of April 1st to 15th for export and an ETA of the same dates. You can get further details in the advisory sections of our website under the heading Shanghai Situation Update Package for Customers. That's at maersk.com. Taking into consideration the impact on air freight affecting China, Maersk is also introducing a new Zhenzhou Liege weekly return charter service beginning in April to help customers adjust to recent capacity reductions to Europe. The service will provide connections to major China and European cities through a seamless transfer service. Maersk continues to closely monitor the situations affecting China-facing customer supply chain needs and endeavors to keep you up to date on all that's happening. If you have questions, please get in touch with the local Maersk professional for assistance and further information. Again, that's on the Maersk website. I'm going to turn things back over to Colleen, who is going to provide us with our sustainability updates.
Thank you, Kiwi, for sharing your ocean update. So let me give you an update on our sustainability initiatives, and in particular, our emissions dashboard. The climate crisis continues to drive companies and consumers to address their impact on the environment. During the past decade, global greenhouse gas emissions have steadily increased despite promises and commitments from individual governments and companies to address greenhouse gas reduction. Many companies are exploring variable ways to reduce pollution across their business as they prepare for the prospect of increasing demanding regulations. That said, the rush is on to develop innovative business models that safeguard the environment. One common problem in addressing the issue of greenhouse gas emissions is that companies often have limited transparency into these emissions to begin with. For many, the mechanism for establishing greater transparency are still immature. Such a lack of transparency obscures the economics of decarbonization and makes it difficult for customers to make their own informed choices for decreasing and optimizing emissions across the supply chain activity. Among the key obstacles affecting transparency include immature reporting and data collection systems, emission estimates rely on averages, and hard to set targets where standards are not aligned. Another call-out is around the execution of decarbonization strategies. These challenges can be difficulty to monitor fragmented supplier landscapes, geographic complexities, and conflicting procurement priorities. Lastly, there is often limited support from governments and regulators, leaving businesses to deal with insufficient regulations, lack of government action and investment, and excessive costs for individual value chains. When discussing emissions visibility initiatives with customers, we have learned that more than 80% believe that it is important to have carbon emissions visibility, while less than 50% have such visibility. With less than 50% not having visibility, this is our opportunity to connect to the market by leveraging our sustainability initiatives. We have all been briefed on Maersk's sustainability initiatives commitment to achieve net zero CO2 emissions by 2040. This effort includes clear roadmap for developing on this commitment and achieving the company goals. Maersk Emissions Dashboard is a key tool that suppliers and our customers can be influencing in their CO2 emission footprint, and the dashboard provides the correction for the customers to be commencing their sustainability journey. Maersk Emissions Dashboard is a one-stop shop that consolidates emissions footprint data across carriers and transport modes. The emissions dashboard uses an industry-leading calculation methodology that is Global Logistics Emissions Council compliant, allowing our customers to set science-based targets for the future. The emissions dashboard provides a source of transparent, actionable emission insights across key crucial reporting dimensions that make it easy for customers to identify and address the root causes affecting the overall carbon footprint optimization. The carbon emissions initiatives. We have looked closely with our customers to identify 5 key reporting dimensions to analyze and optimize emissions. And that's by trade lane, by mode, by carrier, by origin, and by destination. The emissions dashboard makes it easy to identify and address root causes driving the overall carbon footprint. Emission reports are made available via online browser accessible dashboard hosted on powerbi.com. We work with our vendor EcoTrans IT to complete the technical calculations. EcoTrans IT is a not-for-profit specialist firm based in Europe. They adhere to the highest reporting standards. They apply the recognized Global Logistics Emissions Council framework for the calculation and reporting of greenhouse gas emissions. Data is refreshed quarterly, semi-annual, or annually based on customers' reporting frequency needs. Even non-Maersk shipments can also be reported in the emissions dashboard. And this requires customers to use a standard Excel-based template to submit the required input data for EcoTrans IT to compile. In the future, we plan to interface with carrier APIs and third-party booking platform APIs where available. The benefits our emission dashboards provides our customers include providing a single source of truth on the emissions footprint across all carriers and modes, delivering advanced data analytics with a focus on the specifics of each unique supply chain setup, employing rigorous data quality checks to ensure maximum impact on final numbers by evaluating and reviewing false or incorrect data entries, is allowing you to choose the frequency of recurring reports as per your needs. In closing, I do want to reiterate that Maersk Emission Dashboard is a one-stop shop consolidating emissions footprint data across carriers and transport modes. It applies industry-leading calculation methodology to make it easy for you to identify and address the root causes driving your carbon footprint and greatly assist businesses in meeting their emissions optimization initiatives. On a separate topic for today's broadcast, I'd like to remind everyone of the 2022 APA Technology Vertical Campaign launched on the 7th of April. This campaign is focusing on 3 technology sub-verticals: That's the home appliance, home entertainment, consumer electronics. This campaign is designed to not only demonstrate Maersk's thought leadership in the industry, but also provide pragmatic solutions for our customers to incorporate an integrated supply chain into their speed to market strategies. For technology companies, speed to market or supply days is a critical success factor when considering supply reliability to market demand and their company's working capital cost of inventory in supply chain. A webinar is scheduled on the 21st of June where we'll invite customers to share their view on the global disruption impact of technology industry and how the integrated logistics partner can help. For more details, please scan the QR code on the side to download our ebook and learn how to drive your high-tech supply chain in the fast lane. I've enjoyed presenting today about these initiatives, and now I'm going to hand back to Kiwi to complete the broadcast. And thank you.
Thank you, Colleen. That ends our update for today. We trust you find value in these updates and encourage you to get in touch with us regarding questions about the topics we've covered or ideas on what you would like to hear about in future broadcasts. We greatly appreciate your input and support. We will keep the chat box open for another 15 minutes for questions and comments. Also, please click on the survey link to give us feedback. If you would like to register for our regular email updates, please follow the link posted in the chat. Don't forget to register for our regular email updates, and we'll see you again in June. Thank you.